welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here, and welcome to my car. Right now we are on our way to Fox Lake, and we actually just stopped at Braeburn, which is past Fox Lake going towards Carmack's, but a must-stop place. That didn't sound right at all. For your giant food needs. And what I mean by that is we filled up on giant sandwiches and giant cinnamon buns, which are literally the size of Brandon's head. So, you know.
They're really good.
So we filled up on giant sandwiches, giant cinnamon buns. We are headed to Fox Lake. Now, for those of you who heard me on Spaced Out Radio, I kind of touched on the Fox Lake occurrence, and I also think I touched on it in my top 5 UFOs in Canada's series thing. But Fox Lake is most well known in the Yukon and the world for one of the largest sightings of UFOs, period. Now, what I mean by that is way back, there was a massive UFO sighting here that spanned from Fox Lake through to Little Fox, all the way up to Carmack's, through to Pelly, and then Stewart Crossing, which is quite a long ways. But over 30 people saw the same thing over a span of about 3 hours, and everybody describes it the exact same way, which was a large disc-shaped object in the sky that spanned from one side of the lake to the other. Now, once we get there, I will show you guys footage of the lake, so you'll be able to see like how big it actually is and kind of get an idea of it. But this thing spanned the entire width of the lake and moved very slowly across the lake, all the way over, up through the horizon, and disappeared. Everybody stopped at Braeburn, talked to the owner there, and every single person that he talked to that day all said they saw the same thing. So it has been recorded as one of the largest UFO sightings in history. And we're gonna go there, we're gonna sit down with Brandon and get him to talk, because he has some UFO sightings to talk about as well at Fox Lake and the surrounding area. And I do have a couple of other little random stories to tell about that place too. So yeah, we'll reconvene once we get there so that I can focus on driving. Okay, so to give you an idea of where we are now, this, what is remains of this platform, was actually put in here after the UFO sightings. There used to be stairs that came up here, and you could actually sit up here and like wait out the night if you wanted to.
All right, hi guys. So this is Fox Lake. It's a little bit north of Whitehorse. It's our last stop on our little bit of our adventure today. I thought I would tell a bit of a story. So, as Amber had mentioned previously, this place is renowned for its UFO sightings. My dad actually told me a story a couple of years back. He was leading his work crew on this stretch of highway, actually. We pulled over in the perfect spot to Carmack's. They were working on construction projects up that way. It was around this hour in the evening, and they were coming back into town this way when they saw what looked like one of those big government airplanes now. Up in the Yukon and Alaska, we have a lot of military bases up here. So it's not uncommon to see these huge jumbo jets and these big fighter jets do practice rounds along the valleys. That's what they thought it was initially, and it was coming in kind of this way. And as it got closer, they realized the magnitude and the size of it, and it encapsulated the whole width of the lake. And as they were getting closer, they wanted to pull in and get a picture. And the radio started going crazy, and the frequencies wouldn't line up. They couldn't get any reception anywhere. They went to take out the camera, and the batteries died, naturally. So they pulled over, and they're all looking at it, and they were in a caravan of 2 trucks, and the second truck caught up to them, and was like, "Have you guys seen it?" Like, and they're like, "No." So they pulled in, and they're all taking pictures, or trying to take pictures, sorry, and nobody's cameras are working, so we're all looking at each other. And with that, they look up again, and it had kind of gone to see through these trees here. There's kind of like a dip in that mountain there. It had kind of gone up and around and disappeared. Now, something that large would have made a sonic boom, especially if it was moving that fast. So they weren't the only people that had seen it that day. They got to town, and I guess they had talked to a few people, and a lot of people along this stretch that day had reported it around town. People had talked about it on the news. I personally have been driving along this highway. This highway goes north all the way into northern Yukon. I was on my way up to Dawson City for a family event a few years ago. I was driving by myself. And I also saw something which I thought, again, was one of these government military type planes. But it kind of just hung. Kind of on this stretch out to just past this way, we go from Fox Lake into Little Fox. And it was just hovering there. And again, I was just fascinated by it. And I don't know, my phone also, there's no cell service out here, obviously. But it just wouldn't turn on. And sure enough, as I got back around the corner up towards Braver and I pulled over, just kind of catch my bearings and get lunch, and the phone turn on again, of course. I know a lot of people think, typical, it doesn't, if it stops talking, how convenient, but until you've actually been out here and seen these things, like, who's to say what forces are going on, It's an interesting place.
Okay, so we are here. We have Fox Lake in the background, and I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit less, I guess, but just kind of show you, like, the expanse of this lake is, I'd hazard to guess, maybe 3 football fields.
And it goes on for several kilometers.
And, like, it's several kilometers long as well, but at least 3, if not 4 football fields wide. So that kind of gives you an idea of how gigantic this UFO was, moving above us through and across the lake and disappearing into the darkness. There have been so many stories over the years. It is still a very popular spot for people to come and wait for UFOs, see if they can see anything, and just actually experience that here in the Yukon. We are no stranger to the weird and wonderful. So it's very, very high activity here, for sure, compared to a lot of places in Canada. And I think partially it's just because of the wilderness.
The remoteness, yeah.
And maybe there's a lot more to explore. My roommate and my best friend was telling me a story from when she was younger with her parents and her brother driving down this same highway, and they all saw what looked like a glowing orb off on the distance over the lake. And it changed color, but it didn't really change size. It hovered over one spot and almost rotated like a lighthouse. So the light would disappear and then come back and disappear and come back. And then she said, from what she can remember, it did go red at one point. So to me, that sounds like it was searching for something, or actually like surveying the area in some way.
Scanning with infrared.
Yeah, whatever it was definitely startling to everybody in that truck, obviously. And yeah, I've never personally experienced anything out here unnatural, but I also grew up much farther south from here than anybody else that I know. So I'm just kind of listening to everybody else's stories and going from there. My surroundings have always been Sasquatch and that kind of thing. So UFOs is a whole new world.
I'm maxed out. It's been a long day. Ghost hunting.
Okay. Well, with that note, we should probably get back before it does get dark.
Before things really come out to play.
Before it gets dark, before we potentially get kidnapped by aliens. But I wanted to say thank you. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you want us to investigate things a little bit further. I only have limited time with Brandon before we move. And so we'll try and bang out as much investigating style videos as we can before then. And then, of course, whenever he comes to Newfoundland and visits us, we'll do even more.
We'll do one on ferries, maybe.
Yeah. Make sure we have lots of bread. I think that's it for us. Please, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. It would mean so very much to me. And, of course, turn on the notification bell because I am uploading as much as possible over the next 2 months, so that you guys still have content to watch while I drive across country and settle in a new place. I love you guys all so very much, and I will see you in the next video.